Welcome back to Willoughby Park here in lovely Langley, British Columbia, Canada. The home grounds of this PACWEST doubleheader here between Langara, the hosts, and Capilano University, the visitors. And of course, this men's matchup, the second of the doubleheader, the women of Langara falling 3-0 to the Capilano University Lady Blues. A little bit more at stake for this matchup here as Langara and Capilano both enter this encounter tied on points atop the PACWEST men's division on 12 points. Of course, the last time these two played was September 14th, with Capilano coming back from behind to take a 3-1 result, which gives them the head-to-head tiebreaker. So this is a massive weekend for both clubs. And of course, they do play tomorrow at Capilano's home ground. So if Langara want to claw above that tiebreaker and perhaps even put a little bit of cushion, it might need to be a big weekend for the men in orange. Let's get you the starting 11s. First for the visiting Blues. First in net, number 30, Graydon Sherrill. In the outfield, number 5, Marcos Navarro. Number 6, Luca Dal Sasso. Number 7, Sebastian Soroto, who scored in that last victory over Langara. Caden Rotley is number 9. Number 10 is Tommy Miller. Number 16, Alexander Baldry. Number 17, Andrew Cerquera. Number 18, Adam Majure. Number 19, Eric Town. Number 20, Riley Marshall. And of course, head coach Steve Miller, who is animated on his bench at times, but does get his results from his players. So how can you argue? On the far side, Mark Rizzardo, head coach of Langara. He will put out number 22 in net, Adriel Adcowley, as we're now underway. The outfield is number 3, Hikaru Umura. Number 7, Beckham Hatch. Number 8, Tainer Bajgare. Number 9, Enrique Claros. Number 12, Haruto McKelvey. Number 16, Owen Holscher. Number 17, Zayan Adlam. Number 18, Takaru Kaku. Number 19, Taigo Shimada. And number 27, usually wearing the number 23, but funny story coming from that one, is David Rodriguez Zagara. Little known fact about Mr. Rodriguez Zagara. Works at the airport, yes, YVR, so this was quite a trek for him to get here today in the township of Langley. Probably about an hour's worth of driving. He was supposed to get off work at 2, but managed to escape a bit early in time to make the 2:30 kickoff. So you love the commitment of David Rodriguez Zagara. You just need someone to remind him to bring the proper jersey. He forgot it, so he has to wear number 27 today. We'll see if he can get on the score sheet, because that's a heck of an afternoon for Mr. Rodriguez Zagara, as Capilano are now forced to defend, or I should say Langara are forced to defend early here with Capilano breathing down their necks. Capilano, of course, playing from left to right on your stream. They're wearing their all whites with a little bit of sea sky blue. Piping and trim and lettering as well. Langara, meanwhile, they're head to toe in orange. It is one of their school colors, along with black, gray, and white. But of course, it is Truth and Reconciliation weekend here in BC and in Canada. And it's a little nod to that day of respect here. And Langara was honored to receive a name from the Musqueam in their language, Snowaeth Lelam, which means house of teachings. The word is used to reference the advice given to a child to build their character and to guide them in adulthood. So a nice little touch here by the Langara Falcons in their head-to-toe orange with a little bit of black and white trim. And of course they have the name Snowaeth Lelam emblazoned, embroidered across their chest. Shimada with a rip! Oh, I beg your pardon, it's Omura, but my goodness, did he put the left peg through that one. That one flies over Graydon Sherrill's net. The first real half chance of this match goes to the men in orange, playing from right to left. Of course, then I mentioned off the top of the broadcast that Capilano came from behind to win 3-1 here at Willoughby Park the last time they played on September 14th, which puts them in pole position as far as the PACWEST standings. Both teams have 12 points, and Langara actually heavily lead the goal difference category, as their goal difference is +8, while Capilano sit flat at 0. But it's that head-to-head encounter that just slightly has the men in white ahead of Langara, which makes today's encounter and the return fixture tomorrow at Capilano University massive, massive tilts here in the PACWEST men's standings. Ball clipped around the outside by Miller. He's looking for Soroto, who scored a screamer in that last matchup on September 14th. He's boxed out there by McKelvey, and Adlam has a chance to carry forward. Throwing on the far touchline for, I believe it's Cerquera. Adlam, pressed by Soroto. Back to Kaku. McKelvey now. He's got a bit of time. Rodriguez Zagara is trying to peel around the outside of his man. There's a real battle for space down there with Rodriguez Zagara. He had Alexander Baldry draped on him like a cheap suit. He actually just had to two-hand him away. Baldry is giving Rodriguez Zagara no space. Holscher now inside the penalty box. Tried to put it to his left foot, but Eric Town just stepped in front of him and it was able to stifle that potential effort on net. And Majure just gets thumped over from behind by Bajgare. And that'll be a foul. Willoughby Park here, of course, the home of Vancouver FC in the CPL, right next door to the Langley Event Center, where the WHL Giants play, as well as the Vancouver Bandits, formerly the Fraser Valley Bandits, the local basketball club as well. Majure on McKelvey. Some tight marking going on at the moment by Capilano, who are touch tight. Rodriguez Zagara gets his first touch of the match. He flies back to win it before trying to thread an aerial ball into the path of Enrique Claros. Bajgare now has it. Great outside of the right foot ball. Looks for Claros. He has it by the corner flag. Claros keeps it in play. He has Bajgare as well. Looks like he might skim it across. Instead plays back to Bajgare. Adlam creates an option at the back. Will he whip in across? This is some distance he'd have to cover. He thought about it, did Adlam. Said he wants to play some shorter options. Claros now in the middle of the park. Tried to help him out, but Adlam will go all the way back for Takeru Kaku. McKelvey. Infield for Holscher. Holscher puts Takeru Kaku in a bit of a spot, but thankfully Kaku managed to shuffle away from Routley. Beckham Hatch, great cross into the area! Header from Holscher's just wide. That's a real chance there from Langara. It was whipped in with pace at the near post, and Holscher got across his man and did ever so well. He just couldn't bend it into that near post. The goalkeeper was left flat-footed there. Graydon Sherrill, not much he could do about that one. It was a bang-bang play, and Holscher was just inches away from opening the scoring there from Langara. Excellent cross, as it usually is, from the number 7, Beckham Hatch on this left wing. Adlam wins his header. And for Omura, Bajgare will nod it down for Beckham Hatch. He's got some options. He thought about switching it for Adlam, but that might have been a risky play going across the width of the park with lots of white shirts in the middle. The ball now is Claros. There is still a battle going on in the middle of the park between number 16, Baldry, and Rodriguez Zagara. They were just in a tussle in a heap on the ground moments ago, and we've seen that already a handful of times. Zagara now pokes it forward to his right for Shimada. Infield for Omura. It's a bit of a sloppy pass from Shimada, though. Thankfully for him, Capilano can't control it. Rodriguez Zagara tried a long diagonal there for Hatch. That didn't come off. Ball in the channel now for Miller. Beg your pardon. That's actually the number 9, Routley. Good layoff for Soroto. Soroto, right-footed shot. It's a knuckler as well. Right into the palms of Ad Cowley, who gets his first touch. All he can do is knock it down for Adlam to distribute. And now Holscher has the ball deep. Adlam. Long ball over the top looking for Bajgare. The flick comes off the back of the defender and falls to the feet of the number 9, Enrique Claros. He just couldn't sort out his feet. He drags downtown in the meantime. I beg your pardon, that's Riley Marshall. Another little half chance there for Langara. They got some good space. They just couldn't unleash a shot from about 18 yards out. Just 9 minutes in now, still 0-0, and the first chance of the match coming moments ago off the head of Owen Holscher, following some great service from the left wing by Beckham Hatch. The wind picking up ever so slightly here in Langley at Willoughby Park, which acts as a bit of a wind tunnel at times. 14 degrees, partly cloudy. We did have some sunshine earlier, but it's really chilled down here in the later part of the afternoon. Eric Town. A long throw from Eric Town. Floats out the far end of the penalty box, and Shimada there will take it for a bit of a dribble. He has Adlam back if he wishes to use him. He will. Zion Adlam, tall strapping defender for Langara. Kaku. Soroto's breathing down his neck. That was a risky bit of business there by Kaku, but he gets away with it. McKelvey has some space to carry forward now. McKelvey on the deck for Bajgare. He's in a sea of white legs, still going Bajgare though. Returns it to McKelvey. Long diagonal ball from McKelvey on a dime for Shimada, who tries to knock it down for himself and chase it. Not a bad idea for Shimada. Just got too much on it, and it rolls into the waiting arms of Sherrill, who had posted up just on the edge of the 18, anticipating some forward momentum from the boys in orange. Good ball to Soroto. That splits a few lines. Now all of a sudden Capilano, who we know like to counterattack and can do so with the best of them. That's how they won the game against Langara. They had a head full of steam there in Rodriguez Zagara, who, as mentioned, decides to tie his shoe right in front of the free kick ball. That's some cheeky, cynical gamesmanship there from Rodriguez Zagara, who, as I mentioned, fresh off his day job at the airport. He is a bartender at the departure gates, and he just managed to make this game by the skin of his teeth, so much so that he forgot his actual number 23 top as being forced to play number 27 today. So always interesting to see what goes on behind the scenes of every soccer match, whether it's at the collegiate level or the pro level. And for me, Rodriguez Zagara, he's showing pro-level commitment by making today's game on a long weekend Saturday. So well done to the number 23, now number 27 for Langara. It'll be a goal kick for Ad Cowley. Long floated ball right up the left channel by Ad Cowley. It takes a hop. Bajgare just got a two-hander in the back, but the Falcons managed to come away with it. Holscher back for Bajgare. Great intertwining play here. Bajgare has Town all over him. Good backtracking defending, I should say, by Eric Town. Sherrill with the ball at his feet just scoops it into midfield, and it's one down by, I believe it's Baldry. Baldry now just outpaced by Omura. A bit of a halfway ball to Shimada though by Omura. He gets it back. Long diagonal looking for Bajgare. Good play there by Town. Would have been very easy to just knock it right back up the middle of the park, but he calmly, coolly just heads it back to his keeper unchallenged. Very patient and observant defending there. And Soroto, the ball hopped on him just as he passed, and that might be the kiss of death for Capilano, as there's not a ton of numbers to work with here for Langara. Holscher skims in across. It takes a hop just in front of the 6-yard line. Nobody was really attacking that ball. They were waiting for, they had one at the top of the area and one at the back post for Langara. Bajgare forces Sherrill into a clearance. It comes down for Rodriguez Zagara. Zagara goes back a ways for Adlam, but it's opened up a bit of space here, and Adlam is charging forward in this right channel. On the deck for Bajgare. His initial touch just clipped off of him. It's actually a well-weighted, well-placed ball by Adlam, who picked out the seam there quite nicely for Bajgare, but he was at full stride trying to receive the ball, Bajgare, and couldn't really tame it. Adlam. Looked like that went off into touch. It does. It'll be a throw in the way of the Blues. PACWEST doubleheader weekend here. The Langara women dropping a 3-0 decision to Capilano in the early game. They get a chance to take on the same Blues tomorrow at Capilano University Stadium. This one just underway here between the men. First place on the line. Currently, Capilano leading on head-to-head record as both teams, Cap and Langara, are tied 12 points apiece, despite Langara holding the much better goal differential of +8 to Capilano 0. Rodriguez Zagara squares it up for McKelvey. Good play there by Rodriguez Zagara. McKelvey now making his paces centrally. Pops it for Enrique Claros. That took a hand deflection. It was Eric Town, to be fair. I'm thinking probably Town doesn't mind that one, because if that ball got through from Enrique Claros, I think that's a serious chance on net for Langara. So fortunately, unfortunately for Capilano, it's a handball and a free kick for Langara, about 25, maybe even 30 yards out. Rodriguez Zagara sizing this one up. I think Omura actually had a look at that one. Rodriguez Zagara clips in a ball. It takes a headed deflection, and it's calmly picked out of the air by Graydon Sherrill. It looked like Adlam was going to get his head on that one as he was cruising in and around the 6-yard box. Clearance now dealt with by Shimada, back for McKelvey. Tried to play it into the path of Beckham Hatch, but it's picked out by Majure. Graydon Sherrill. Misplaced pass in the middle of the park to Rodriguez Zagara. He has options centrally. Thought about skimming it across. Instead, great square lateral ball to his right for Omura. He's going to duck his down and head down and have a shot. That one was a worm burner. Had sting on it, but it was hit dead central at the keeper, who just had to stoop down to a knee and watch it fly into his pillowy white mitts. Good splitting pass there from Soroto. Finds Tommy Miller. Majure hounded by McKelvey. Good win there by McKelvey. Cleanly for Beckham Hatch. A couple lanes opened up there for Bajgare, but he was a little bit patient with it. Good back heel. Finds Beckham Hatch. The referee says foul on Bajgare. And a Langara free kick just at the moment. These opening 17 minutes, very similar to the way the last matchup between these two played out. It's Langara controlling the tempo and the possession here in this first half. They must be wary of the Capilano counterattack, though, which is their bread and butter. They scored all 3 goals on the counterattack last meeting back on September 14th, and Langara will have to be ready for that type of challenge. Ooh, there's a foul on Rodriguez Zagara. It's Baldry who drags him back. And Rodriguez Zagara is going to have another look almost from the identical spot he did probably about less than 2 or 3 minutes ago. Maybe a little bit further out by a yard or two. Taken quickly, Rodriguez Zagara has a shot on a frozen rope. It's a fantastic save from Sherrill, who gets to his left to palm it away. That one was dipping and swerving and knuckling. My goodness, what a rip there from Rodriguez Zagara, who almost gets his goal. The number 27. Good palm away by Sherrill, though. That's one of those ones that can bend the fingers back and nestle up into the top of the meshing, even if you do get a touch to it. So he had to have strong wrists there. Didn't even punch it either. He palmed it. Still managed to put it into a safe area for his defenders to clear it. Well done there by the young keeper, Sherrill. Beckham Hatch, left-footed in, swinger. This time he punches, does Sherrill. It flies out to the top of the 18. Owen Holscher will hook it back in. It's knocked on by Kaku. Adlam in the area. First time rip, he was offside. It was a good save by Sherrill, though. And good on Adlam to hang around and wait for some pieces as it was hooked back in by Shimada. Good play there. Majure gets the better of Rodriguez Zagara. Linesman's flag stays down. Rodriguez Zagara manages to play it off the chest of Majure and keep the ball for his team. Adlam has it now in his defensive right channel. McKelvey. Good play there by Holscher and McKelvey as they did good enough to wiggle through the lines of blue defense. Dalsasso plays a short 10-yarder to his left for Tommy Miller. Dalsasso now lifts one in the right channel for Majure to latch onto. He gets there, Majure keeps himself onside. He's got McKelvey to beat. McKelvey forces him to the corner flag. It'll be a deep throw in for the team in white. Langara do have some substitutes on the bench that could possibly influence this game, as they have Nakanishi, the number 6 midfielder, in the mix. Real chance here for Capilano as bobbling around. Soroto tried to fly in for a late smash, but it was eventually cleared by the forward, Owen Holscher. As mentioned, Nakanishi, a possible option for Mark Rosardo. Also is Kobe Monte, who can dribble with the best of them. Real chance here for Cap again. Town puts in a cross, but he gets too far under it, and you could hear him bellow a 4-letter word in frustration with himself. He knew he had time and space to really force Langara to defend, and he just got far too underneath it and loops it over the crossbar of Adcowley. And it'll be a throw-in for Langara. Adcowley wearing the teal or seafoam kits, very similar to his female counterpart on the Langara women's team, Basra, who was also in the teal outfit today. His opposite number, Graydon Sherrill, mind you. He's gone for the crimson red kit with a little bit of white piping and trim. Hatch. Great ball infield for Claros. Claros forced to go all the way back for McKelvey. Thought about a switch of play, which he did. He just got away with it. Managed to get it past Rotley. Kaku. Kaku. Adam looked like he wanted to go for a dribble. Great dummy there by Shimada. He's found Holscher in the touchline. He's continued his run. Shimada, can he get there? Oh, he's gone inside and out on his man. His fantastic play. Unfortunately, it just amounts to a goal kick. A for effort there by Shimada, who helped to start that juggernaut-like run forward in that right channel and almost inside and out at his man, Marcos Navarro. Good industry there by Shimada, who looks like he has a few tricks up his sleeve. Enrique Claros getting an earful from Mark Rosardo there, who was screaming, "It's too easy," from the bench, as Claros just watched Riley Marshall get to the outside of him with a bit of not too much problem. Shimada wins the ball off the feet of Cerquera and then takes care of business with Soroto, asking for a foul there. Referee gets in the way ever so slightly. He impedes the progress of Baldry. He blows the whistle on himself. That's a very modest referee, a very real referee, taking accountability for his actions. He impeded the play and gives the ball back to Capilano. Eric Town now, dragged back by, I believe that was Claros, beg your pardon, Bajgare. And it'll be a foul just inside the Langara half, as Capilano are now starting to grow in this game and find some space and some rhythm, after Langara controlled probably the opening 18 minutes or so. McKelvey stands tall there against Rotley, but Baldry has flashed in to win the ball back. That was a dicey tackle from McKelvey. He got the ball, but he flew in there a bit reckless, I have to say. I can see why the referee, though he was, let's be honest here, a good 50 yards away to make that call. I could see why he might blow the whistle. It did look a bit dicey. The ball was one fair and square, but he did go over the top of it, did McKelvey? It was asking for trouble, let's put it that way. So let's just be thankful nobody's gotten hurt. unfortunately for Langara, this hurts their chances as Capilano, now right on the junction of the penalty lines in the right channel, have a real chance to press Langara here. It's going to be Tommy Miller to whip this one in right-footed. 5 white shirts make that 6 at the back of the box. Here comes the cross. It's a tasty one. Dalsasso was the closest. And I think he was just visually impeded by Bujgari because he didn't even throw a leg out it, but the second it flew past him, he put his head in his hands as to signify that he knew he probably could have gotten a touch on that. So close chance there from Dalsasso. Marshall. Through ball for Rotle. Onside. Definitely onside. Cerquera now. Dispossessed by Rodriguez Zagara. Good play by the number 27. He thought about pegging a long diagonal. He's dragged from behind, though. Now he does on the left peg for Beckham Hatch. It's on a dime for the number 7 of Langara. He's going to take on Majure. Gets to the inside, gets to the outside. Tries to uncork a shot. He's got the left foot open. Still going Beckham. Hatch, he eventually does blast off a shot. It hits the shins of, I want to say it was Navarro, though, where it was well charged down by the number 5. McKelvey now. He puts a diagonal ball. Bujgari's there at the back post. Headed clear by Cerquera, only as far as Shimada. Shimada, another right-footed cross, this time for Claros. Knocked down for Romura. He's going to have a left-footed rip. He gets the outside of the boot on it. Good pressure there from Langara, who were putting in cross after cross and really forcing the Blues to defend. Unfortunately, Omura just couldn't wrap his foot around that last potential effort, and it goes probably about a couple meters wide. 26th minute, 0-0 here at Willoughby Park. And we're still waiting for a real first chance here. Adlam had a point blank one stopped. It was offside. Holscher had a real chance stopped as well. Shimada's been buzzing in and around the penalty box. Bujgari now wants to put in a cross. He doesn't have a ton of options. Claros is making the late run. It was just a little bit too central. As you can start to hear some growling coming off the Langara bench. It's been cross after cross, but unfortunately no one's been able to meet them. Bit of a fight in the middle of the park. It squirts out for Adlam in the right channel. And now to Romura in the left channel. He's talking about putting in a cross. It's just towed away by Claros. And now Capilano have a serious chance to break here. And Rodriguez Zagara just pushes him over from behind. Rotley. Mark Rosardo urging Rodriguez Zagara to just get a dash tighter. He didn't want any breathing room on that potential counterattack. And we might see a substitution here for Capilano as number 11, Jeremy Mondiazengar, who did score in that last matchup, September 14th. Maybe just a bit more physical presence up front for Langara, as Rotley is not having the rub of the green right now against the Langara defenders. Hatch into the penalty box. Left-footed, cuts back to his right, now goes to his left to the byline, goal line. For Bujgari, he just couldn't get there. He thought about putting his right boot through it, but it was Riley Marshall who just got there in the nick of time. Between Marshall and Town, they've just had the timing right on some of those crucial interceptions, as the likes of Bujgari, Claros, Beckham Hatch, and Owen Holscher have been breathing down their neck. Kaku to his left for McKelvey. McKelvey. Kaku, great play there to brush off Rotley. And he's going to go for a bit of a dribble now. It's open wide up for Kaku. He's got Shimada to his left, but unfortunately I think he got caught in between a couple of minds, and he just let the ball roll into Dalsasso. Speaking of rolling, that's a great roll from there from Claros, who's gotten away from his man. Holscher now returns for Claros. Great sliding tackle by Majure, and it had to be bang on for Majure. Bujgari now right-footed cross cut down by Miller. It's going to go for almost a corner kick, and now Bujgari, after he got outbodied and outwitted there, stamps on behind Tommy Miller, and it'll be a free kick for Capilano. First substitution of the game coming up, as Caden Rotley will come off and the very dangerous Jeremy Mondiazengar comes on. Free kick will be taken by Luca Dal Sasso on the far side. Adlam, Shimada, still going Adlam. Thinking about swerving in across. Now he does. And nestles down for Owen Holscher. Good slide tackle there by Town. Ooh, and Holscher got clipped there. Bajgare, it's a mess of legs. And it prize free for Adlam. He tries to work a 1-2 with Shimada. And that'll be a Langara ball. About 15 minutes to go here. Adlam all the way back for, I believe that was Omura. And now Kaku. Kaku right up Main Street for Rodriguez Zagara, who's got Baldry on him like a cheap suit. Zagara. Ooh, that's a dicey challenge. Not even an advantage shown by the referee. The ball floated into the back post. Bajgare knocks it down for Shimada! What a stop. Oh, it goes in the net! It looked like it was stopped by the keeper, but it's Shimada who pokes it home on a well-worked goal. He's already got one this season, Shimada, and he adds to his tally. Great work there by Rodriguez Zagara, who had to fend off a couple of tackles there. And a fantastic floated cross to the back post. A well knocked down ball by Bajgare, who a lot of players might just try to knock that one in themselves, but Bajgare had the wherewithal to knock it right into the path of the unmarked Shimada. And he tucks it under the keeper on what looked like it might have been an excellent save. But thankfully, if you're a Langara fan, the ball just had enough steam to roll under the keeper, Sherrill, and it's 1-0 Falcons. But don't count your chickens till they hatch, Falcons fans. This is almost a carbon copy of what happened last time these two teams played. It was all Langara in the first half with a goal, and a lot of missed chances as well, it has to be said. Then Capilano took advantage in the second half, came steaming back, 3 counterattack goals, and took it 3-1. So Langara are not out of the woods yet, and they would probably be in their best interest to try and at least get another goal here before the half, or perhaps early in the second half. McKelvey judged to have dragged back his man. I think it was Baldry. I didn't see that, to be honest with you. It looked like a good 50-50 kind of tussle between two lads. I don't think he could have called it either way. So for the referee, who once again, I know it sounds like I'm being harsh on the ref, but guess what? It's who I am. He was a little bit far back from that one. He was probably a good 30 yards away when he made that call. So it'll be Tommy Miller standing over this one, the tall number 10 with the bright pink boots. It's an excellent swerved in cross to the back post. I don't think the keeper got a touch there. It will be a goal kick. The referee correctly points to the 6-yard box and had Cowley, who looked like he had it covered. I think it was Del Sasso lurking at the back post again, similar to his chance earlier in the half. This time nobody gets a touch to it. It was a delicious cross as well from Tommy Miller, who it was the perfect height, perfect weight, and had just enough spin and swerve to make it a real deflection scare, for lack of a better term. 34 minutes in, if you're just joining us. Langara controlling the play so far in this first half. They're up 1-0. Shimada has the goal, Taigo Shimada. McKelvey plays his cross into Baldry's waist. And then Omura with a creative ball back, finds Ed Cowley, and he has Adlam on his right. Plenty of space there for Adlam, as he's had most of this half. Adlam's been getting forward more than we've usually seen him in an orange shirt. Raking ball forward. He was looking for Claros, who had made a vertical run on the deck. McKelvey now. Claros. Good job by Claros. Gets to the goal line. just managed to keep it in play before cutting it back. Holscher was the closest to it. Unfortunately, he was boxed out. Soroto with a good one, too, but he's 1-2'd himself, and Rodriguez-Zagara with a bit of class. A back heel to Beckham Hatch. Here comes Hatch now. To the outside, Hatch still going. Hatch, he gets around Majure. Lifts the ball into the back stick, and no one's there. Adlam will actually chase this one down. Can he put in another cross, Adlam? He's looking for options. He'll wait short. Shimada gets there. Can he rake in across now? Being very patient with their possession here, Langara. They're not just whipping in cross after cross. They really want to carve out a true opportunity. Amura with a shot. That's charged down. Only as far as Miller. Amura scrapping to get the ball back. He just couldn't get around the frame of Miller, who probably has a good 1.5 feet on him if we're being fair. At least from this distance anyways. Good outlet pass there. I believe it was Navarro who finds Soroto. He had Majure bursting forward, and Majure, good on him. He's been forced to defend a majority of this first half, but obviously still has the legs to get forward there. Majure still hugging this right touchline. About 10 minutes to go in the half here. Probably not a lot of stoppage either, as we've had very little time to stop down play. Capilano now enjoying a bit of possession here. They've been second best in their own end, but they've sparked to life here. Cerquera trying to get to the outside of Shimada. He does. He lifts across, right across the 6-yard line in the air. No one was able to reel it in. Soroto got there, but Beckham Hatch beat him to it. Del Sasso now side foots it right back up the right channel. Rodriguez-Zagara with a good knockdown. Soroto, though, was Johnny on the spot to pick it off his foot. Here comes Tommy Miller. Majure infield for Navarro. Navarro looks like he just wants to crank one. He's got a little bit of steam under him. That one will go out for a throw-in. It's going to be a long throw-in again from Eric Town, who we know is quite rangy with these throws. This could be all hands on deck time for Langara. And that one knocked around the box. It ends up flying harmlessly past Ad Cowley's left post by probably about 2 or 3 meters. And Ad Cowley just waiting for the orange shirts to move their way up the park. Riley Marshall unchallenged, heads it forward for Mondiazengar. Bajgare wins his header down, and then a ball lifted over the top for Beckham Hatch to chase. Can he get in front of Majure? He can't. Ooh, that was very close. That looked like it might have taken a touch off a white sock. Once again, the referee a good distance away to make the call. Very vocal, our Capilano on field level. They're Beckham Hatch. And the referee having a bit of a spat there. The referee saying, "Don't hurt my feelings," of course, tongue-in-cheek, and Beckham Hatch just had a wry smile and a thumbs up for him. And Beckham Hatch, much like the broadcaster here, definitely thought that ball came off a pair of white socks. And the referee was quite some distance away when he made the call, and I'm sure Beckham Hatch let him know that. And thankfully for Mr. Hatch, a yellow wasn't brandished, because I've seen referees give out yellows for far less. So kudos to the referee. I know I'm hard on the rest, but sometimes they have a tough job out there, and he was uber patient there and kept his cool in the face of Beckham Hatch lobbying for that free kick. This time Beckham Hatch definitely does get the whack from Majure, and this will be a free kick right along the left touchline. Rodriguez Zagara just searching for the ball. It was thrown back into play there. And Rodriguez Zagara, who was part of the pieces that created that first goal for Shimada, freeing up some space in the middle of the park. Let's see if his free kick service can match that last effort. This one right onto the penalty dot. It's headed straight up in the air by Cerquera. Out the penalty box, though, and Soroto in a tussle with Omura. Loses out. Good play there by McKelvey, who's not played himself into trouble. Soroto just onside. Looks like he might get to Rodriguez Zagara. Rodriguez Zagara flies in for a tackle. Good play there by Rodriguez Zagara. Don't know if he needed to necessarily go to ground to get that one, but threw it in for extra measure. Bajgare wins the ball back. Good job there by Bajgare. And Mark Rizzardo now, sensing his team's head is just starting to drop a bit physically as far as fatigue or perhaps wear, as he was screaming that the team is walking ever so slightly. He wants them to pick up the pace, pick up the tempo, much like they've been doing for the opening large chunks of portions of this first half. They haven't conceded a lot as far as chances, territory, or even possession to Capilano, and they'll definitely want to get out of this first half at least 1-0 up, but as mentioned, almost a carbon copy of the way this match went last time they played on September 14th, so Langara still have to be on their best behavior for the next 50 minutes plus stoppage. Ball heaved into the area, headed clear by Holscher. It goes out the opposite right side for Shimada, who's going to try and chase this one down. He's going to have to beat Cerquera to it, who had a bit of a head start. Cerquera now, infield for Navarro. Not a ton of options here for Navarro. And Bajgare, looks like he dragged him back from behind. It'll be a free kick just inside the touchline on the left-hand side, right at the center half line. Oh, that's a good win by Bajgare. He's giving it away. Has Marshall. Claros now. Left-footed shot. Claros just not enough sting. And Bajgare had him at the back post. Beckham Hatch was trying to make a late run down the left channel as well. And it was just too tame an effort there from Claros, who Bajgare had done ever so well to win the ball back. It just doesn't amount to a real chance. Change of play. Switch of play, I should say, from Soroto. Just played right into the chest of Adlam, but Adlam under pressure from Diazengar gives it right back to Capilano. Town. Majure. Great cross from Majure. Is dealt with tidily, though, by Adlam. Knocked right up Main Street, though. Navarro again, though, just can't get the final touch right. This time it's almost Holscher who takes it off his foot. It's been a good day at the office for Bajgare as far as the high press. He's done some excellent work to stifle play out the back from the Capilano Blues. Of course, this is a major encounter this weekend between Cap and Langara, as both teams occupy that first spot on 12 points. But just due to that victory 3-1 in September that Capilano got over Langara, they have the head-to-head record, which gives them the tiebreaker. If Langara could go ahead and get 3 points here and possibly even 3 points tomorrow, that would create a bit of distance. Capilano probably feel like they're in the same boat as well, so plenty to play for in here, and a delicious little rivalry here for PACWEST doubleheader weekend on Truth and Reconciliation weekend. About 2 minutes to go here, plus stoppage time. Ball floated into the near post. It's off the crossbar. Cerquera was the closest to it. Soroto has a shot. That one's charged down by McKelvey. It came off his backside. Still alive. Majure, he's going to try and clip one back into the box. Smashes it the width of the park. Great ball there from Majure. He's picked out Miller at the near post. Cerquera has another flick. Adlam can't control it. Cerquera, it's scrambly defending. A body's down. Now a shot deflected. McKelvey, Soroto. My goodness me. It will be a corner kick. That was about as scrambly as it gets in the box, and somehow Langara managed to not concede there. Cerquera probably from about a yard out on an acute angle, heads it off the crossbar, and after that, it was just a sea of swinging legs. If you're a Langara Falcons fan, that was heart and throat moment. They come out unscathed, though. There'll be a right-footed out-swinging corner from the near right side from Tommy Miller. Right on the 6-yard line, that one's met by Del Sasso at the back post again. He's set up a few times at the back post as Del Sasso, but unfortunately for him, his touches let him down both times. This time off the head. And Langara will breathe a sigh of relief as they were forced to batten down the hatches there for a couple minutes. And that's all it takes for Capilano to really press this issue. They're so good on the counterattack, and when they smell blood, they seize the day, and Langara were almost second best in that encounter. The men in orange still up 1-0 on Shimada's goal. Omura, Rodriguez Zagara. Cerquera now into the field of Baldry. That one's taken care of by Adlam. Sherrill to his right for, I believe that's Del Sasso, it is. Del Sasso now plays an aerial ball into the path of, looked like for Tommy Miller, who was trying to help on for Diazengar, but it was dealt with by McKelvey and then Adlam. The 45 minutes of the half is up. We're just into the embers of stoppage time. Ball over the top for Tommy Miller, rolls off his back. Majure has it in the box, still going Majure. Majure right-footed shot off the outside of the net. Oh, and he had gotten himself into such good position there. He had left McKelvey and Kaku flat-footed. He just couldn't get it across the face of goal to beat Adcowley. He went high and hard, and it smacks off the outside of Adcowley's meshing. The number 22 didn't even need to have to touch it, except for to pick it up for a goal kick, and I can imagine this would probably be the last kick of the half. If you're Langara, you're pleased with that first half performance, but they're not out of the woods just yet. Adcowley, a floated goal kick into the center of the area, or center of the park, as Adlam gets submarined at the death there by Diazengar. It looks like he will be okay. It's a 1-0 lead for Langara heading into the halftime locker rooms. Shimada has the goal, and it's well-deserved cap outside of that late flurry of chances, the best coming off the head of Cerquera and the crossbar. Not a lot to speak of in that first half, but we know they can come to life in the counterattack at the drop of a hat. It's PACWEST doubleheader weekend. The Langara women dropped the first decision to Capilano 3-0. The men currently leading 1-0 going into the halftime locker rooms. We'll be back with more in just under 15 minutes time here at Willoughby Park with PACWEST action. Welcome back to Willoughby Park here, the home of the PACWEST doubleheader between Langara, the hosts, and Capilano University. The visitors right here in Langley, BC, 14 degrees. Mostly cloudy, a little bit chill and a little bit windy as well. Right next door to the Langley Event Center, home of the WHL Giants and the Vancouver Bandits. Langara leading 1-0 off a first half Shimada goal, which is massive in the standings as both sides came into this one level on 12 points. Capilano did hold the tiebreaker though on the head-to-head meetings as they defeated Langara 3-1. Last time we were here at Willoughby Park, that was a 3-1 result. And so far, it's almost been a carbon copy of what they put forward last time. Langara controlling the first half and going into the halftime locker room up a goal 1-0 just to see Capilano storm back with 3 counterattack goals to take the matchup that day. As Nakanishi, who has come on as a sub, has a first touch and rip on the left foot, skims just inches wide of Sherrill's left post. And if my eyes do not deceive me, Nakanishi the only substitute at halftime for Langara. Usually a starter there, Nakanishi. And it looks like Capilano have gone right back to the 11 they started with outside of Mondiazengar, who replaced Rotley midway through that first half. So mostly status quo with only one sub here. Langara bringing on Nakanishi. As mentioned with regards to the standings as well, should either team not get the business done here today, they both meet tomorrow at Capilano University, so it's a battle for first and second all weekend long here on Truth and Reconciliation week and weekend. Langara playing in their all-orange kits to honor the Day of Respect. Langara usually in the black and white with a fantastic save there from Sherrill. That one was beamed in. And Sherrill, who almost had to step back and leap into his net to put a fingertip on that one, knuckles it over the bar. 2 gilt-edged chances early in this half for Langara, who don't want to see a repeat of what happened last time here at Willoughby Park. We'll make mention of the all-orange strip for Langara. They're usually in their black and white, as I was saying. And we'll give you the backstory to these all-orange kits for Truth and Reconciliation weekend. Beckham Hatch now, a right-footed floated cross in. Bajgari the closest there. It falls out to Nakanishi. Right-footed shot comes off the backside of Town, I believe. It does. Rodriguez Zagara will let it go out for a throw-in. As mentioned, Langara in their head-to-toe orange strip with a little bit of white piping and trim and also some lettering embroidered on the front. As Langara was honored to receive a name from the Musqueam people in their language, Snowaeth Lelam, which means House of Teachings. The word is used to reference the advice given to a child to build their character and guide them in adulthood. So a nice little touch there from the Langara Falcons. Adlam rakes in across. It's helped on by Holscher. All the way to the back post. It's retrieved by Beckham Hatch. Of course, playing left to right on the stream is Beckham Hatch. Capilano in their all-whites with a little sea to sky blue as well. They're playing from right to left. Hatch now goes for a shimmy to shake on Majure. Is he clipped from behind? He will. The referee says get on up. It looked like it might have been a clip from behind on Beckham Hatch, if I'm being honest here, as he had gotten the better of Majure. Might have been a dash harsh as perhaps Majure got a touch there. Cerquera getting a bit of an earful from Tommy Miller, and Langara, to their credit, have picked up right where they left off at the end of that first half. McKelvey pushed from behind by Diazengar. The referee will bring it all the way back, and it'll be a free kick. Well spotted there by the referee as Jeremy Diazengar, the substitute, had just leaned a bit into the backside of McKelvey, and it put him off ever so slightly. Nakanishi now wants to size up for a right-footed shot. Bajgare now tees up McKelvey, who just got the shout on Soroto coming from the backside. Manages to dish. Adlam tried to put in a cross. He soars that one off into section NM. As you can now hear Tommy Miller. I can hear Tommy Miller just down below asking for the squad in white to wake up ever so slightly. They've come out a bit lackadaisical in this second half. Nakanishi now gets the ball left-footed, trying to tee up Omura. He does, cuts back to his right foot into the path of Holscher, but it's side-footed away by Marshall. And of course we know majority of Caps goals are scored on the counterattack, and all it takes is one real chance. Shimada now in the box. Good slide tackle there by Del Sasso to clear the danger. So Langara, though they do have numbers pushed forward, and only really Soroto as the lone man forward for Capilano. They don't want to get too over-eager and commit too many numbers forward lest they get burned on the counterattack. Adlam whips it into the box for Rodriguez-Zagara. He takes it down on his chest. It's side-footed out. And it'll be a deep throw-in as Baldry and Rodriguez-Zagara come together again. Looks like we're going to have a substitution here again as the man who started, Caden Rotley, the number 9, will come back in. We'll see for whom. Bajgari takes the ball down on the chest. Adlam has another chance to put in some service. Will he get this one a bit better? Adlam lifts it to the back post. It's Kaku, the header, right down to the waiting mitts of Sherrill. It's an excellent cross this time by Adlam. Maybe a bit too much hang and loft on it, because by the time Takaru Kaku, who was criminally unmarked, had the chance to crank his neck back and really lean his head through that header, it ended up just being a calm one down into the clutches of Sherrill. I think if that had a bit more pace, or perhaps Kaku had a running start on it, we might be talking about 2-0 here for the Falcons on this PACWEST doubleheader weekend here at Willoughby Park. The Langara women's team dropping a 3-0 decision to Capilano in the early encounter, which sees Capilano University ladies team just leapfrog them in the standings. And of course they meet tomorrow as well at Capilano University's home park. Right now the men leading 1-0 for Langara. And they meet again tomorrow as part of the doubleheader at Cap Park. Soroto, he gets thumped by Adlam. And the referee playing prison rules at the moment. There was a non-call on a Beckham Hatch penalty moments ago, and we saw Rodriguez-Zagara get into it. Baldry, Soroto got clattered by Adlam. Here's a shot on goal, come cross by Bajgare. They kind of handcuffed Sherrill a little bit. Owen Holscher was the closest striker to it, but he hadn't really sussed out the danger. Yeah, the referee doesn't look like he's going to try and stifle play too much. He's keeping the whistle in his pocket, and he's letting the lads play. Nakanishi, side footer into the middle of the park. That's picked off by Town. Town going for a run now. Gets past one, gets past two. Can't get past Adlam and Omura. There's a sea of orange shirts in the middle of the park, and Town would have been hard-pressed to get through all those legs himself. Adlam, a dummy for Omura, finds McKelvey on the far left side. McKelvey. He's got Omura central. Instead, he tries to smoke a ball in the left channel over the top for, I believe it's Holscher to run onto, and to his credit, Holscher reels it in. That looked like it was going to be a lost cause at first, but good play from the tall number 16 of Langara for Beckham Hatch. Inside and outside, he gets the better of Majure again. This time, he'll win himself a corner kick will Beckham Hatch. Last time he was clipped from behind. He went down, and the referee said no penalty. This time, Beckham Hatch stays on his feet, wins a corner for his squad. Beckham Hatch, right into the mixer. It's punched away by Sherrill, right back to Beckham Hatch, who might have a time to take a touch and whip in another one. He does. This one a little bit more float. It's to the back post. It's knocked down by Nakanishi. McKelvey's the closest to it. He puts up a bit of a shield for, I believe it's Omura. He does. And the two will try and get the ball into a favorable position, but Baldry just doing ever so well to fly in there and boot it off into touch and stuff with the momentum. It's been all Langara so far in the second half, with the number 9 substitute Rotley just down below us. He's been waiting what seems like ages to get on the park here. Adlam with a long throw. Mon Diazengar the closest to it. He pokes it back for Kaku, trying to size up for a shot. Kaku. Now Nakanishi, left-footed. Wants to clip one into the back post, rolls it into the path of Beckham Hatch, who again gets bodied off of it. It was a great ball by Nakanishi. It's just Beckham Hatch couldn't shrug off Majure. They've had a very healthy tussle today, have the two. Hatch for Langara and Majure for Capilano. Shimada comes away with the ball. The goal scored in the first half. Can he double his pleasure here? Shimada pokes it into the path of Holscher. Holscher has the ball taken off his foot by Luca Del Sasso. Good backtracking defending by the number 6 of Cap. And it'll be a corner kick for Beckham Hatch near right-hand side. It would be massive for Langara to get another goal here, though there is still plenty of time to play even with a 2-goal lead here, over a half hour. But they need a reward here for all their hard work. The last thing they want to do is concede a goal against the run of play. Beckham Hatch here left-footed. It'll be an in-swinger. Lofted into the back post. It's knocked away by, I believe it was Riley Town. I beg your pardon, Eric Town. Riley Marshall close as well. Nakanishi gets it by the left corner flag for Rodriguez Zagara. He skips past Mondiazengar. Good cross into the box. Adlam's there! It was a glancing header. He had to wrestle off his defender as well. He still had a lot to do, Adlam, to be fair. Good cross from Rodriguez Zagara. And it's inches, maybe a foot wide. Adlam just needed to put it a bit more central. That substitution now taking place. Navarro off and Rowley back into this one. Good chance there from Zion Adlam, who's been far more advanced today. He's playing as one of a back three, but he's been putting in a lot more crosses, going for a lot more dribbles in those channels, and that time almost put Langara in dreamland with a headed effort that definitely had Sherrill scrambling. Kaku. And Baldry almost gets behind the back line. The first real sense of danger for Langara. Cowley was calm about it though. Flew off his line, slid down head first to take it off the foot of the number 16 in white. And Langara try and get the ball up the park. Mark Rizzardo hollering to his defenders that they're far too deep to step the line up. They eventually do. Shimada now plays it wide left for Beckham Hatch. Hatch cuts back to his right foot. This is sizing up nicely for Hatch. Good shot. Palmed away at the near post by Sherrill. It looked like he might try and open up the body and try and scoop it into that top corner, but instead he smoked it low and hard along the deck. And it looked like Sherrill just had the angle covered. He palms it around for a corner kick. Beckham Hatch over to take again. Hatch, right footer, near post. Bajgare ducks down to try and get ahead on it. It almost met the path of Takeru Kaku. He was bodied off of it. Rodriguez Zagara now out-muscled. And here comes the counterattack that I'm sure Langara were wary of, I should say. Omura chasing down Rotley. Orange shirts dropping in numbers. Rotley gets some support from Soroto, but the pass is misplaced. Kaku comes away with it. A bit of a let-off there for Langara as it looked like Rotley was about to take that one to the house. Nakanishi, orange. The orange-clad men of Langara have numbers here. Nakanishi now just out-dribbles himself, though. It was, I want to say, 5-4, and Nakanishi has his head in his hands now. He knows that something needed to be a bit better there. Baldry just barrel rolls Rodriguez Zagara there. I'm not sure what that was. That looked like two lads rolling around on a wrestling mat. Nonetheless, another good little half chance for Langara goes a-begging as this game has kind of opened up ever so slightly in the last 2 minutes or so. Nakanishi's been a welcome inclusion in the second half. He's controlling the tempo nicely for Langara. He's just got a few key decisions wrong. He had that early effort right at the beginning of the half that just screamed wide of the post. That was great. That last dribble, though, I'm sure it left him and his teammates a bit frustrated as they've carved out a nice little opening there. Bajgare, adjudged to have fouled his man. Don't know if I saw that one. Nonetheless, Capilano won't mind, and they'll take the ball back in the approaching the 60th minute. Only one goal to speak of so far in this one. It's Taigo Shimada's lone goal from close range. Adlam wins that duel of titans with Mondiazengar. Ball headed straight up into the air for Eric Town. Beckham Hatch knows he's offside, backs off of it. McKelvey and Rotley in a tussle there. And it looks like Capilano have numbers here. It's 3-on-3 and Orange need to drop. Rotley into the area, shot, and just misses the right post. And that was the chance that I'm sure Langara were feeling. Mark Rizzardo shakes his head in disbelief, and Steve Miller on the Capilano bench also shakes his head in disbelief, both for different reasons. Rotley feels like he should have scored there, and he was inches wide, almost a carbon copy of Nakanishi's shot earlier in the half. Just burned past that far post. He had Cowley beat, and Mark Rizzardo knows that they aren't out of the woods just yet. When you have counterattacks like that can spark to life, when there's a numbers mismatch, you're always a threat. And right there, Rotley just about broke level for his squad. Shimada dummies for Omura. Couple orange shirts, but Omura just played the ball too far forward in the channel. I think it was Holscher he was trying to reach. About a half hour to go here at Willoughby Park. Good win there by Mon Diazengar, who hasn't had a ton of love here as far as the rub of the green, but he got there on Shimada. Good win by Adlam. Good win by Adlam. He's been good today by Adlam. Fantastic by Bajgar. He gets around the outside of Majure. Still going. Still going. Just couldn't get that final touch. Patient defending there by Majure. He just stood with his man Bajgare, who definitely has his tap dancing shoes on today, that's for certain. Good play there by Cerquera. He's dragged back from behind. Foul. Hatch asking for options. Holscher will make the through ball run, but Hatch will use it as a decoy. Cut inside on Del Sasso. Right-footed shot from Hatch. A little bit too far out. It was going wide, but Schroll will put a touch to it. Schroll plays it to the left-hand side for Majura. He's pressed by Shimada. Riley Marshall's there to assist. The clearance, though, only as far as Rodriguez Zagara. Serious numbers here. Thought an advantage could have been played there as well, as Orange had some good position with all three white shirts involved in that tackle, dragged to the touchline, but the referee will let Langara have a free kick instead. It'll eat a bit of time off the clock, but if you're asking Langara, I'm sure they'd sacrifice a little bit of time to get another goal here and maybe put this result out of reach for the men in white. Rodriguez Zagara asking for 12 yards from Baldry. The referee says play on. Rodriguez Zagara drops his free kick a little bit too shallow, and now Capilano have numbers coming forward, and the attack is on. Two at the back stick. If Soroto can get it there, Omura might want to commit a professional foul here if he feels he's out-dueled. He clearly felt he wasn't. Hangs the leg, puts it out into touch, so patient defending there by Omura. A lot of young players these days don't want to foul, especially on the counterattack, but there's nothing wrong with a little professional foul if you're in danger. I'd rather take a yellow all day than concede a goal, so. I'm sure Mark Rosado probably shares my sentiment as well. Whether or not he'd say it out loud, I'm not sure, but I can imagine he would agree with me that the ends justify the means when it comes to games like this. You want to throw everything in the kitchen sink at it so you have no regrets. Long throw here from Eric Town, and it's a potent one. I think the referees might get him to retake it. There was either some argy-bargy in the area or perhaps a foul on the throw. I'm not sure. Somebody's getting a bit of a stern talking to inside the area. Looked like maybe Tommy Miller and Owen Holscher, who are getting a bit handsy with each other. 25 minutes to go here, plus stoppage. Another long throw. What a heave. Ball falls down for Rotley, but he's just boxed out. Bajgar is going to come away with it. He might just want to boot it to the corner flag and try and relieve some pressure for his team. He does well to keep the ball, though. Beckham Hatch now. Played forward for Owen Holscher, and this is a 2-on-1 opportunity if Shimada can get on his bike. Holscher still going. Good poke away there by Cerquera, though. It wouldn't really sit up for Holscher, and Cerquera saw that, so he just put the toe to it. About a half a dozen substitutes up off the bench, warming up for Langara, including Kobe Monty, who's a real handful for tired defense. A tired defense, I should say. Are we going to have another Stern talking to here? Looks like Rodriguez Zagara and Luca Dal Sasso just getting a bit too lively in their protests, and the referee will calm them down. Omura and Rodriguez Zagara standing over this one. Adlam for Nakanishi. He lets it roll for Holscher. He helps it on for Nakanishi. Bajgare got in the way ever so slightly. He had come across the box while Nakanishi was making a vertical run, and they almost met head to head. Good play there by Nakanishi, though, who laid the dummy off for, I want to say it was originally Shimada. Nakanishi returned favor. And McKelvey's been outdued here with Rotley, and that'll be a free kick and probably a yellow card. But as I mentioned moments ago, I think they'd rather take a yellow card than concede even a chance on net at this stage of the game. He got a good chunk of them too, did McKelvey, so he got his mileage out of it. And Rotley, since coming back in as a substitute, he started the affair and wasn't having a ton of love, but he's probably been the best player on the park as far as creating something moving forward for the men in white. He had a chance screamed just wide. He had that potential chance dragged back. He drew a yellow card, so Rotley so far is doing his job. He just needs a little bit of help from the players around him. No lack of effort. It's just they've struggled to really find a rhythm here, Capilano, all day long. They've had the odd sniff on counterattacks, but if you're looking at the tail of the tape so far, Langara probably the better of the two squads with the ball at their feet. Rodriguez Zagara snaps in to take it off the foot of Rotley. He gets clipped from behind, and it'll be a free kick on the far left touchline, right in front of section YZ. Of course, usually the home of the Vancouver Football Club here at Willoughby Park. Home of plenty of sports here, let's be honest. WHL Giants play at the Langley Event Center, as do the Vancouver Bandits, the basketball club. We've got beach volleyball courts in the background. We've got football fields. We've got multiple soccer fields, multiple basketball courts. We've got a track ring here at Willoughby Park. So from the grassroots on up, plenty of sports being had today on a sports Saturday. But we're concerned with the PACWEST here. Langara up 1-0. Shimada with the goal if you're just joining us in the first half. And it's been mostly Langara here. Nakanishi comes away from one tackle, two. Del Sasso, it's a sea of legs. And Bajgare is all over Miller like a cheap suit as well right now. It's actually Riley Marshall. Finally, the ball's lifted clear. That looked like a gang fight on the far side. Adlam thumps it into the supporter section. Takes no chances with Mon Diazengar breathing down his neck. We're going to see a substitution from Capilano. It's going to be Adam Majure coming off. And Stefano Dal Sasso, the number 15 on. So two Dal Sassos on the park right now. Also going to see a substitution for Langara as well. As I correctly predicted, Mark Rizzardo might smell a little bit of blood here. He wants the final touches to be put on this one. Kobe Monty, who alongside Beckham Hatch, probably one of the best dribblers on the team. Soroto with a lash. He just gets it wide. He scored in the last encounter here from a similar position. 3-1 was the end result there. This time he doesn't find the back of the net. It remains 1-0. Here comes Kobe Monty. Shimada will make way. Or perhaps Shimada's just getting some instruction. It'll be Owen Holscher coming off with Kobe Monty on. Shimada remains on the park. Goal kick for Ed Cowley. Bajgare drags back Riley Marshall. Bajgare incredulous to the decision. He's still seeking answers. Played quickly by Cerquera. Wide right for Eric Town. Dalsasso. Adlam looking for an offside flag that never arrived. Soroto bowls him over from behind. And Shimada and Adam, or I beg your pardon, Shimada and Adlam just having a wee conversation between themselves. Adlam was playing the offside trap, which no one else kind of read, and Shimada was giving him a bit of stick for it. In the end, Adlam did just enough to win the free kick back, so no harm done. Stefano Del Sasso hooks it up into the air for Soroto. McKelvey now on him, wins the ball back. Kobe Monte tries to roll it past Sequeira. He can't. It looked like it might have gone out. Did not. Marshall, ball up the park. Looking for Baldry, and Adlam once again taking a bit of a risky chance there. Probably should have dealt with it. Instead he calls his keeper, who was like, I don't know. Eventually they sussed it out though. Eric Town into the middle of the park for Miller. He loses out. Bajgare rides the tackle of Marshall. Still alive, Bajgare. Tries to clip it around the back for Monty to chase. He will chase Monty, but Sequeira takes him for a bit of a dribble. Ooh, there's a slide tackle from Monte. Time to perfection. It's still in. The referee says no. Linesman says no. And it'll be a throw-in. It'll be a white ball. The linesman was right there and said orange ball, but the referee overrides him. Doesn't make a difference, though, as Langara win the foul back moments later. Just under 20 minutes to go here, and Langara not clinging onto a 1-0 lead, but it's precarious. Let's not call it solid just yet, as Capilano have showed in the second half that despite being on the ropes ever so slightly, they can spring to life at a moment's notice and really be a handful for any defending team. Adlam. Good switch of play, looking for Hatch, who's been a bit isolated on this left-hand side. He now gets the overlapping run of Shimada. Good play by Shimada. He's got two white players to get through. Plays it back for Hatch now always. Hatch cuts to the inside, still going Hatch. He's got some time to tee one up if he wants to go inside. He does, and he loses his footing. Hatch still going, lays it back for Omura, but the referee says no go on that one. And White will win the ball back. Hatch had opened up, and he done ever so well. I think if he keeps skipping laterally across that 18-yard line, he manages to open himself up for a shot. Instead, he got just a dash too cute, and he tried to go back to the left foot, and he found nothing but white shirts there. Omura wins the ball back for Bajgare. Overlapping run of Nakanishi. Can Bajgare find him? He can eventually. Nakanishi's turned his man. Still going Nakanishi. Lays it back for Rodriguez. Zagara, left-footed shot just over the bar. Great little spell of play there. Nakanishi tees up Rodriguez Zagara, and he puts the left boot all the way through it and maybe into the parkade. I better check my car after that one, as Rodriguez Zagara showed that ball absolutely no mercy, and why would you? Good spell of play there from Langara, who are desperate to get that second goal and put this one out of reach of Capilano. Here come Langara again. It's Hatch. He's got the overlapping run of Rodriguez Zagari. Still going Hatch. Still going Hatch. Still going Hatch. Right-footed shot. And it's a fantastic goal. It's a fantastic goal from Beckham Hatch, who uses a couple players as decoys before smashing it high into the net. The number 7 for Langara doubles their lead, and the men in orange have just over 15 minutes to go to see out a massive result if they can hold on. And he's been shaping up like that all day. I said it moments ago, Beckham Hatch need to keep skipping across that 18-yard line. Perhaps he heard me and put my plan into effect, because my goodness, that was perfection is what that was from Beckham Hatch. Gets past one, gets past two. He's been a bit unlucky against Majure, who's since come off on that far left side, but that time he gets it just right. No chance for Sherrill on that one, as that was smashed with some conviction. Great goal there by the number 7, Beckham Hatch. And Hatch and Shimada will get the plaudits, but you have to look at the work of Nakanishi, Rodriguez, Zagara in the middle of the field. They've been pulling the strings. You've had Shimada and Amura buzzing around as well. Bujgare as well. Just the little things Bujgare does is so helpful for the team. And the defense has done just enough to keep out Capilano. There's been some scary moments. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here, but Langara at the moment fully deserve it up 2-0, but not out of the woods just yet. Here comes Serquera. 15 minutes to go. Serquera gets to the outside of McKelvey. Almost. Did it come off a set of legs? And it'll be a goal kick. It looked like it might have actually been a corner kick here. Once again, the referee and the far linesman not in great position to be making that kind of a call. It looked like it came off a set of white legs. So I feel for the Blues on that one. There's been a couple there today where there's been some frustrating ball in, ball out, who did it come off of kind of calls. We're going to see a double substitution, one per squad. Capilano will bring on number 22, Ben Ellsworth. And Langara will bring in number 25, Tyler McCall, who can be a real handful on his day as well. McCall was very good against VIU last weekend. Of course, Langara dropped the decision to VIU 1-0, probably against the run of play if we're being honest. But Tyler McCall definitely put his best foot forward in that one. Capilano now tried to spray to the left. Kobe Monty gets the ball, and he just wants to run with it. Here comes Monty, puts on the brakes. Looking for options, goes back right now. Baldry got a two-hander to him, but all he can do is just keep him at bay. Kobe's going to get the ball back, and he's got some space to run into now. Monty approaching the area, into the penalty box now. Monty cuts all the way to the goal line. Monty still going, tries to clip in across. Nobody there at the back post. Del Sasso clears it, but it's only as far as Takeru Kaku. Kaku now, right-footed cross across the width of the area for Beckham Hatch. Ooh, knocks it down to himself. Pops it in the area. Bujgare. Oh, this is just getting too cute. Now they need to shoot the ball. Nakanishi, left-footed rip. Right into the waiting palms of Sherrill. It was hit with some sting, but he didn't really pick a corner there, did Nakanishi. As Langara looked like they're almost trying to walk the ball in the net there. There was a couple times where they probably should have just uncorked a shot. Another substitution queuing up here for Capilano just down below us. It's going to be Qusay El Hamdan alongside Ellsworth and McCall from Langara. So we'll see what these substitutions do to influence the matchup. Nakanishi rolls his man. Fantastic play there by Nakanishi. Gets past Miller. Still going Nakanishi. He's clipped. Stays on his feet. Nakanishi holding on to the ball. It's patient play by Nakanishi, and eventually his ball to the left for Beckham Hatch lets him down. Nakanishi, it's kind of been the story of his evening. He's done ever so well in the build-up, but seems like his final ball has just let him down a bit. He's controlling the tempo masterfully, though, in the middle of the park alongside Rodriguez Zagara, though, today. Tommy Miller going for a ball over top. Kaku deals with it. It's not really taken care of, though, by Langara. Mondiazengar saw a bit of daylight, so he has a rip. It's deflected by Adlam, and Adcowley will wait for Mondiazengar to press him. Just over 12 minutes to go here for Langara to hold on to this 2-0 lead. Bujgare waiting for options. Eventually Shimada comes in from the back. He'll go for a bit of a dribble now. Shimada, is he going to take on Tommy Miller? He is. No, he cuts inside. Beckham Hatch. Nakanishi. Clip ball in for Beckham Hatch. Kobe Monte's in the area. He just can't get a proper touch to it. He was kind of running towards it and needed to clip it across himself. So he'd almost would have had to unhinge a couple joints to make that one work. But Kobe Monte good on the effort and fantastic through ball from Beckham Hatch trying there. Hatch is back on the ball now. He's going to take on Del Sasso. Will he pop in a right-footed cross? He pondered the option there. Bujgare. Still going Bujgare. For Mondiazengar. We're going to have a set of substitutions now, as Mark Rizzardo bellowed out to the referee for the substitution. Eric Town will be coming off for one of the substitutions, and it looks like the number 9, Rotley, who might be the best player on the park for Capilano today. They'll both make way. And Ellsworth and Al-Hamdan are now into the affair. Tyler McCall waiting for his substitution to come over. And it looks like Bajgare will slowly make his paces over here, who's quietly gone about his business today. Didn't end up on the score sheet, Bajgare, but has been excellent. And Bajgare looks like he might make his way to the physio table. Maybe for just a refreshment. A couple matches ago, I want to say it was against Capilano or possibly Douglas, Bajgare came off. Had to ice the knee, so hopefully not a reoccurring injury or anything of the sort. That being said, he is rolling down his left sock and his left ankle, so we'll keep our eye on Bajgare just down at the physio table on pitch level. Rodriguez Zagara floats a ball to the top of the box. It's helped on by Kobe Monte, but he popped it towards the penalty dot, where Tyler McCall had carried his run to the far post. 10 minutes to go here. Adlam wins the header there against Mondiazengar. McKelvey loses the header there. Kaku with Mondiazengar flying right in front of his line of vision. Able to side-foot it out of danger. Nakanishi throws a couple pegs at Tommy Miller. Tommy Miller eventually gets away from him, though. Good play by the number 10, who had a couple orange shirts draped on him. Cerquera into the path of Dalsasso, but he couldn't get ahead of his man, and that is a bit of a submarine job from McCall, who gets underneath Riley Marshall, who's holding his backside and his tailbone at the moment. It was an awkward landing. I don't think Tyler McCall did that on purpose, but it was just a little late to the party on that headed challenge, and Riley Marshall still down in a heap, and Tyler McCall will pick himself up a yellow card for his efforts. 8 minutes to go here in this PACWEST doubleheader, September 28th. Be a free kick from just about the halfway line. Luca Del Sasso will smoke it in right on the penalty dot. It's hit with some kind of steam. Cool keeping there from Ad Cowley, who had to jump through a sea of heads there to pick that one up. And looked fairly comfortable doing it. So good play by the number 22 there in between the sticks for Langara. This looks promising. A couple through ball options for Nakanishi. Instead, he's going to carry himself. Nakanishi still rolling, still going Nakanishi. Into the path of Rodriguez Zagara. Lays off for Nakanishi. Nakanishi still going. Tried to clip it inside for himself. Nakanishi, he's going to try and win this ball back. He does. He has McCall there. Still going Nakanishi inside the 6. He needs to dish. Eventually he does to Omura. And it snuffs out Nakanishi. Just had the ball on a tether there. He didn't want to give it up, did Nakanishi. He was taking that one home. Wins a free kick, or I beg your pardon, it's a corner kick on the far side. It's Beckham Hatch who did the hard work. We're going to have a substitution coming up for Langara as well for some late minutes. It'll be number 11, Luca Cafaro. Beckham Hatch, a right-footed in-swinger. Ooh, has it gone in the back of the net? The referee says foul on the keeper, and I think that's the right call. It was definitely a body put on the keeper, who did get mitts to it, so proper call there by the referee. Sherrill breathes a sigh of relief. And Capilano still in this one. You never write off anybody, even with 2 goals and 7 minutes to go. When you're as dangerous and potent on the counterattack as Capilano are, you can never go to sleep. This looks like a promising attack here. Del Sasso, can he get to the inside of Kaku? He does. Good play there by Del Sasso. Miller looking for options. Forced to retreat, though, with Nakanishi hounding him. Nakanishi looking for the channeled run of Mondiazengar. McKelvey, though, is going to... Ooh, I think that's a harsh decision again by the referee. I think Mondiazengar had done ever so well to wrestle with McKelvey and win the possession back there. Don't understand what the free kick was, unless the ball had come out of play and that was the call, but it looks like they've given the free kick, so a bit unlucky there for Mondiazengar. Substitution complete for Rizzardo. Mark Rizzardo in the Langara squad. Tyler McCall off. He had just come on. He had taken a yellow card. Maybe there was a risk of potentially taking another one. Of course, they do have the game tomorrow against Capilano, and they'll need all hands on deck there as well. Luca Cafaro now in for Tyler McCall. 5 minutes to go here. Soroto trying to get to the inside of McKelvey. He doesn't. Kobe Monte can't sidestep Cerquera either. Capilano putting up some good high press here. Cerquera looking for Del Sasso, but Kobe Monte wins it back. Good duel in Cerquera once again. Mondiazengar. Left-footed cross with some pace as well. It was just hit a bit behind El Hamdan. Good play there by the strapping number 11 for Cap University, though. Nakanishi. Is that Nakanishi? No, I beg your pardon. It was Beckham Hatch by the right corner flag. Eventually it's thumped clear by Adlam. Nakanishi just couldn't take that off the foot of Riley Marshall. Both teams struggling to control play at the moment. It's just bounced here, there, and everywhere. No more than two passes being connected at a time. Good ball there by McKelvey. He's found Cafaro onside. Luca Cafaro takes it in his stride. It was just a bit... Oh, Cafaro's won it back. Or was he offside? Maybe clipped him. Didn't see a foul there. Perhaps a bit of a tug back from Cafaro, who unfortunately just kind of stumbled as he got to around the outside of the defender, Riley Marshall, because he'd done ever so well to take the ball in his stride, Cafaro, but he just got thrown off of his pace. Shimada takes no chances, just humps it into the middle of the park. Rodriguez Zagara loses his duel, though, and had he won that one, I think that's a real charge on net for Langara. Zagara holding his back now. Quick high five with Riley Marshall, and Monte's dispossessed Cerquera. They're both full sprint, and Monte's on the dribble. Into the penalty box now, Monte. Carries a bit wide right. He's going to wriggle back. Top of the box for Rodriguez Zagara. He's going to tee up Beckham Hatch. Beckham Hatch opens his body up, right-footed shot. This one knuckles, but it's palmed away. It was almost dipping and swerving. I wonder if that took a deflection. It was almost like a bit of a off-speed curveball the way it was saved there. Rodriguez Zagara now is on the deck. He took a bit of a knock on his back in that aerial challenge with Riley Marshall moments ago. This isn't something Mark Rizzardo will want to see, as Rodriguez Zagara is a key piece of that midfield machine alongside Nakanishi with the big game tomorrow at Cap. They'll definitely need his services, even if he has to come from the departure gate once again and run a bit late. I think you take Rodriguez Zagara for even 10 minutes if you could have him. Looks like he'll be okay, though. The number 23 serving as number 27 today. Another substitution coming up here for Mark Rizzardo and Langara. Looks like it'll be Keanu Amagu Sanchez coming on. Indeed it will. Floated ball in from Beckham Hatch. It comes out the opposite end of the area, which is Nakanishi's ball. He gets away from one, clips it in the pass. It was Ellsworth who he actually managed to shuffle by. And now numbers in a bit of space here for Capilano. The ball just too far ahead of Baldry, though. And McKelvey's going to take his sweet time. He baits Baldry into the tackle before circling back and going to Adcowley and right back up Main Street, Cafaro. Baldry keeps it alive. Good play by Baldry. He's been buzzing about today, Baldry. He's been all over Rodriguez Zagara. It's kept him about as at bay as you can keep a player like Rodriguez Zagara. Here comes the substitution as Zagara will make way after taking up that slight back knock. It doesn't look like he's terribly hobbled, but he's put in a good 89 minutes. And Amagu Sanchez, the number 5, will make his way into the park, and I'm sure there'll be handshakes and hugs all around for Rodriguez Zagara. Definitely from Mark Rizzardo, who I looked about a proper handshake as you're going to get. A nice, good, firm one. Good job done there by Rodriguez Zagara. Del Sasso now on the ball, just trying to shuffle it out of his feet and get it to Mondiazengar, but couldn't wrap his foot around it. A minute to go, plus stoppage here for Capilano to possibly make it a bit of a nervy finish, but Capilano looks in comfortable control at the moment. McKelvey for Kobe Monte. Goes over his head, but the touch comes off Cerquera's shin. Cerquera. Tommy Miller. Keeps good possession. Mondi Azengar. Back for Marshall. Marshall now plays a pacey one up the park, looking for Soroto, who himself has had a couple of looks today. We forget that Cerquera has hit a crossbar and Soroto's had a couple really good looks. Mondi Azengar has a rip this time. That comes off the left foot of Kaku, which took the pace off of it. And had Cowley in no real rush. We'll hold on to this one. Shimada now with the ball at the far side. Can't imagine a ton of time left in this one. Foul goes the way of Capilano. Tommy Miller now. Possibly the last kick of the can here for Capilano. What can they make of it? Kobe Monte flashes in and disturbs the run of Miller. He just took it too far to the goal line, did Miller. Calm defending by both Monte and McKelvey. McKelvey just hoofs it up the park. Luca Cafaro's job will be to chase that down. It can be thankless at time for the lone striker. And the defenders play around Nakanishi and the press of Cafaro. Mondi Azengar onside. He's going to keep it in. It will just come out of play. Mondi Azengar put in a cross too, and it's unfortunate it came out as I think Baldry would have latched onto the end of that one, and Mondi Azengar has put in some good crosses today. There's just been nobody on the end of them, and he hasn't really had a ton of opportunity to keep putting them in. The Langara defense has been pretty synced up to with what Capilano are trying to do today. Shimada wins the ball back from Al Hamdan. Luca Del Sasso's going to have a rip from probably about 40 yards out, and that one probably about 4 meters wide off his right boot. And I think the referee might just bring a halt to proceedings here. He had a quick look at his watch moments ago. And something tells me this may be the last kick of the match here, as Ad Cowley will size it up. Left portion of his area. And it's a thorough victory for Langara today, a deserved 2-0 victory. The goals from Shimada and an absolute screamer from Beckham Hatch. Either side of halftime, see them deservedly take care of business against Capilano. 2-0. Their best chance of the match was a Cerquera close-range header that came off the crossbar. They also had a few opportunities at the opposite end with Sebastian Soroto as well. But Capilano, it just wasn't their day. They get a chance to make amends tomorrow. Both these teams do battle at Capilano's home park, as do the women. And we'll quickly recap the scores for you today. The Langara women dropping a 3-0 decision to the Capilano women before the Langara men took care of business, as you just saw, 2-0. That's the PACWEST doubleheader with the results. That sees Capilano's women leapfrog the Langara women in the standings for a third spot, while Langara now hold top spot outright. Both clubs, Capilano and Langara on the men's side, entered tied on 12 points. Capilano did have the tiebreaker through the head-to-head victory they had earlier in the month, but Langara do away with that. They now have a full 3-point lead to hold on to for the time being anyways. They meet Capilano tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us for this PACWEST doubleheader, and we welcome you back October 5th and also the 19th for some action Langara style as well before we get you set for provincials later on in October. Once again, thank you so much for enjoying the broadcast today, and we'll talk later in October.